Hello everyone. I was reading Zechariah chapter 14 recently, and I was wondering what you all have to say concerning the chapter, so I thought I'd put something out here to start a discussion on it. I'm just wondering when this chapter is supposed to be fulfilled, according to, everyone out there seeing this video. So here's a few main points from the chapter, and then if you could respond either by video or leave a comment, we could discuss what this chapter is about. Okay, so Zechariah 14 verse 2 says, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city." So we see this great battle, and, the city's taken, basically. In verse 4, the Lord's feet stand on the Mount of Olives. Verse 5, some of the Lord's people, the saints, according to verse 5, flee to the valley of the mountains, which was created by the Lord's feet standing on the Mount of Olives. And then it talks about, basically, in verses 8 to 11, it talks about Jerusalem being re-inhabited by the Lord's people, and Jerusalem, those will dwell in Jerusalem safely. Then in verse 12, it says, "And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem." And he goes into describing what this plague is like, that he smites those among the nations with who don't come up to Jerusalem. Then in verse 16, it says, "And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came up against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles." And so then in the remaining verses, it talks about all the families of the earth that go not up to Jerusalem to keep the Feast of Tabernacles shall have famine. And so basically what we see in this chapter, it starts off talking about a great battle in Jerusalem. The Lord's feet stand on the Mount of Olives. The saints flee to the valley of the mountains where the feet stood. And then Jerusalem is inhabited safely again, and the Lord sets up a kingdom. And then after that, a plague goes throughout the earth of those who fought against Jerusalem. And then those who remain, who didn't die of the plague, some of them come up and worship the Lord in Jerusalem and keep the Feast of Tabernacles, but those who refuse to do that will receive famine. So that's kind of an overview of the chapter. Any comments on the chapter? The main question is, when is this to be fulfilled? And anything else that you want to say about the chapter, comment or video response or anything, I'd be glad to hear from you. All right, have a blessed day.